Yo, Nate here. We're back with Danganronpa. We're gonna continue the trial where we left off. Hopefully we get to find out who the murderer is and not fail like we did today.
I refuse to give up yet!
Make my argument.
Are you saying that when we first there's a chance
he was actually still alive?
No. Hifumi was dead, and you know that surely you heard the body of Hifumi's dead body had been found.
That's the wrong thing,
And
but...
that is a real maybe
We'll
the
check it
announcement
out.
was intended to signal someone else's...
Are you saying that when we first found Hifu, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No. It is impossible. Hifumi was dead, and you know that surely you heard the body of Hifumi's dead, and that is a real maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Are you saying that when we first there's a chance
He was actually still alive?
Shoot!
Well, I'm just trying to
Are
talk
you
about
saying
this
that when we
thing.
first found there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No. It is
Dang
impossible.
it.
Hifumi was dead, and you know
You
that
didn't
surely you
finish.
heard the body of Hifumi's dead, and that is a real maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Someone else is discovering my also
Are
be
you
it.
saying that when we first found Hifu, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No. It is in Hifumi was dead, and you know that surely you heard the body discuss Hifumi's dead body had been found.
Yeah. I know what it is now.
Are you saying that when we first there's a chance he...
No. Hifumi was dead, and you know that surely you heard the body of Hifumi's dead, and that is why are we really?
Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Are you saying that when we first there's a chance he...
No. Hifumi was dead, and you know that surely you heard the body of Hifumi's dead body had been found.
No, he's wrong! Was the body discovery announcement that was made really intended for Hifumi?
Of course it was. The announcement played right after we discovered his body.
Maybe. But that was also the same time that Taka's body was found.
That's right. It wasn't long after finding his body that we heard the announcement.
So there's a good chance we've made a mistake in there. I think we've confused whether the announcement was for Hifumi or Taka.
First of all, if two bodies had been found, there really should have been two announcements.
Maybe Monokuma simply got lazy and rolled them together into one.
What do you say, Monokuma? Any comment?
Well, it's a very sensitive issue, so I can't go into too much detail. But what I can say about the body discovery announcement is that it's only broadcast when 3 or more people find a dead body for the first time.
That didn't answer our question, man.
No, actually, that was plenty. He said it's only broadcast when a body is discovered for the first time. Which means, even if we find the same body again later, he won't make the announcement again. If that's true, then why was the announcement made again later on?
Huh? Later on?
Exactly. We heard the body discovery announcement twice. I got it! We heard it a second time in the repository, when we rediscovered the two bodies. It didn't seem weird at the time, but it contradicts what Monokuma just told us, doesn't it?
Exactly. If we were actually rediscovering both bodies, the announcement shouldn't have played.
And in reality, when the two dead bodies were rediscovered, one of them was actually being discovered for the first time.
So, when we found Hifumi the first time in the nurse's office, he wasn't actually dead yet. Meaning, he wasn't actually found dead until we came upon him in the repository.
And that's just part of it. There's one other thing that leads me to believe he was still alive in the nurse's office.
The glasses.
Oh, I know! Because he was super good at playing dead! Bada bing, bada boom!
That is the worst logic I have ever heard. But honestly, I do not think there's anything that can prove he was still alive.
Okay then, let's take another. Then it should become clear what
This whole thing...
The glasses. Do I have more bullets? Or is that only in meme mode?
Well, here's one thing we do. The first time we found Hifumi's body was in, and then, well, Mika's body disappeared.
And the next time we saw his body,
It was in.
But when you compare his body before, other than the change in how it was positioned, there was no notable difference.
Then, was he really still alive?
Of course not. It is impossible. This is...
Authentic.
Well, here's one. The first time we found it, and then his body
And the next time it was in.
But when you compare his body before, other than the change, there was no
Notable difference.
That's wrong.
No, that's wrong. In fact, there was one clear difference between Hifumi in the nurse's office and the repository. His glasses. That fact alone proves that he was only playing dead in the beginning.
Perhaps you'd like to fill the rest of us in?
When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, his glasses were covered with blood. But when we found him again later in the repository, they were spotless. And I found the item he used to wipe them clean in the nurse's office trash can. I got it! It was a glasses cleaning cloth featuring a certain cartoon mascot. One look at the bloodstain on the cloth should make things clear. This piece of cloth was used to wipe Hifumi's glasses clean, and the mascot on the cloth is the same one that's on the digital camera, right? And whose digital camera was it? Hifumi's, of course.
The character was... Princess Piggle.
I highly doubt anyone but Hifumi would have brought something like this to school.
I see your point. And the only people here who wear glasses are...
I wouldn't be caught dead using a tacky piece of garbage like that.
A few tissues is all I need to keep my glasses clean.
Then there's no question. It belonged to Hifumi. What I'm saying is, the blood on...
Even if that is true, it does not mean he wiped the blood off himself.
But who would benefit from a clean pair of glasses other than the glasses owner?
That's a good point.
Then it must have been him, right?
So let's assume that Hifumi was still alive in the nurse's office. He pretends to be dead. Then when he's alone, he wipes his glasses clean so he can see. Then he stands up and walks out on his own 2 feet. And with that, the impossible task of moving his copious corpse becomes possible, wouldn't you say?
But then, if he was just pretending to be dead, what was with all that blood? Was it paint or something?
The fridge in the nurse's office contains packs of blood for emergencies. He probably used one of those.
He figured if he was gonna play dead, he should go all out, so he just dumped it everywhere! But he got crazy with it and had to wipe his glasses off when he was done! God, what an idiot!
And if Hifumi was still alive at that point, the disappearance of Taka's body is easily explained. It should be perfectly obvious who must have moved Taka's corpse.
I got it! It could only have been Hifumi.
While we were all gathered in the nurse's office, he went to the equipment room and took Taka's body.
That also explains how the door to the repository got locked.
The door was locked? Well, after the bodies disappeared, so me and Sakura had... But when we got there, the door was locked.
And the repository door can only be locked from the inside. Which means, when Hina and Sakura got to the repository, someone was already inside.
And it could only have been Hifumi, who just finished stashing Taka's body there.
He convinced us all he was dead, and when he saw his chance, he dragged Taka's body to the repository. So, Hifumi wasn't just another victim in this case. He was one of the assailants.
But that means he took part in the murders.
I just can't believe it. If you're having trouble, would you like me to show you one more piece of evidence?
There's more?
Oh, absolutely. The single biggest fact pointing to his involvement has yet to be revealed. You know what I'm talking about, right, Makoto? The item he took off of Taka's lifeless body?
Shoot!
That must have been the note, then I wasn't sure if it was the note or that.
I got it! You're talking about the note Hifumi had hidden away, aren't you?
Hidden note?
That's right. We found it stuffed in his pants.
What? In his pants?
Yes, his pants.
Okay, well, forget about the pants for now. Take a look at what the note
It's
says.
disgusting.
That's the note I was telling you about. The one that told me where to go. Wait, this one's a little different. In my note it said, Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone.
See, then this note isn't the same one Hiro got.
It's the same?
In other words, the killer got in touch with another person besides Hiro. And that person could only have been... I got it! That's right! Taka!
Stop telling what I'm seeing.
The killer used this note to draw out Taka and murder him.
Hello? Over here! Objection! Objection! I don't really understand what's going on, but Hifumi had that letter, right? So whoever wrote it wasn't drawing out TikTok, they were drawing out Huffy!
Just to be clear, TikTok is Taka and...
Oh! Yes! Why must you ruin it every time?
The rip part of the letter.
Huffy had the note, right? Then the person it was intended for must have been Huffy!
But remember what the note said. What time did it say to meet?
6 a.m., I believe.
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
That's wrong.
No, it's wrong!
That is the wrongest thing I've ever heard of you say, Genocide Dill.
No, there absolutely is a connection.
What the hell are you talking about?
The note said to meet at 6 a.m., which is the same time Taka was murdered. You've already proven that using his wristwatch.
Call me?
But there's more. Look where the note says to meet. The equipment room, right?
Which is where Taka was killed. I see.
So, Taka was murdered at both the time and place written in the note. I think that should be plenty to show that this note was definitely meant for Taka.
Taka.
Well, when you put it like that... No further objections!
Then
She gives me
someone
pretty.
used that note to trick Taka. Just the same as me. The culprit really is a cold-blooded monster. Telling people they found a way out.
But if they gave the note to Taka, what was Hifumi doing with it?
Stuffed down his pants, no less!
Most likely, Hifumi stole it off Taka's corpse after he died.
Huh? He stole it?
Where's your proof? Go ahead.
I remember.
I got it! When I searched Taka's body, I saw that his lifeless hand was gripping a small scrap of paper. If I'm right about this, the sheet of paper this... I knew it! It fits perfectly with the note we found hidden on Hifumi.
Then Taka's scrap and Hifumi's note.
Yup, they're from the same piece of paper.
Hifumi had the note meant for Taka, while Taka's corpse still grasped a small piece of that note. There's only one way to explain it.
Taka died clutching the note. Hifumi tried to free the note from his death grip, leaving behind only one small scrap. Did I get all that right?
That means Hifumi knew the note was important.
Exactly. which proves that he was an accomplice in the murder.
Whoa. Yeah. After seeing all this, Hifumi was super involved in this whole thing for sure. In fact, he was behind the whole thing. In fact, he's still alive!
Sorry, no. When we found him in the repository, Hifumi was truly and completely dead. The second body discovery announcement proves that.
So then,
He was double
Whoever
crossed.
did is the mastermind, the true killer.
He was killed in the repository. So he must have been killed not long after transporting Taka's body.
Can you close the door, guys?
So, he must have been killed after Taka's body vanished. But
During that time, we'd all split up and were searching for Taka's missing body. In other words, during that
wait, but me and Sakura were together.
Stop trying to steal the spotlight, you stupid walrus!
Who are you calling a walrus?
Anyway, when they were killed bothers me too. But there's something that's been bothering me even more.
And what might that be?
The weapon they used to kill Hifumi.
the weapon?
Yeah, because I mean, according to the Monokuma file, the way Taka and Hifumi were killed was almost the same, with them having similar fractures and all. But Justice Hammer 3 and 4 were still laying around in the nurse's office and equipment room, right? So if Hifumi was killed in the repository, the culprit would have had to grab one of the hammers, kill Hifumi, then put the hammer back where they found it. But wouldn't that be seriously risky for him?
I'm surprised. It seems there's some semblance of a brain knocking around that skull of yours after all.
Dang.
Hell yeah, it's packed in there good and tight.
He's right, though. I don't understand it either. The Monokuma file makes it clear that they were killed using similar instruments. But if the hammers were already laying around those other rooms...
So the question is, how could the culprit have gotten their hands on either of the hammers? Personally, I haven't a clue.
So which hammer was used to attack Celeste? Number 1 or number 2?
Those were accounted for in other rooms too. And I don't think either one is big enough to kill someone.
Is it not possible they used a different weapon?
I don't think it is possible. They were both killed with the same kind of thing, right?
So then, what was used to kill Hifumi?
Argument. I thought this hammer.
What was used to kill Hifumi? Shoot!
That's what.
What was used to kill Hifumi?
I feel like I
Was
can
it
do that.
Justice, maybe Justice Hammer 4?
Well, what if there's one thing? How was the culprit able? How did nobody witness them kill you?
Shoot! What was used to kill Hifumi?
Was it maybe Justice? Well, there's one. How was the culprit? How did nobody? Sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is about to make its appearance!
Shoot!
What was used? Was it Justice? Maybe Justice? Well, whatever. There's one. How was the culprit able to move? How did nobody witness them kill? Sounds like a Justice Hammer. Check out Murder Gear, Doctor.
Well, the murder weapon had to be one of the Justice Hammers.
That's wrong.
No, that's wrong.
Wrongest statement that's ever wronged in
The murder
Wrongville.
weapon wasn't a Justice Hammer at all. No, it was something completely different.
But, seriously? A different weapon?
Specifically, a hammer from the repository. The killer could have easily used that to kill Hifumi. Now, all the hammers in the repository were covered in flecks of grit and debris. But for some reason, one of them had been scrubbed clean.
Huh?
And the reason it had been scrubbed clean was most likely because it was used to commit murder. If the hammer got covered in Hifumi's blood, of course they'd have to clean it off. I'd also like to point out that the repository has all kinds of hammers. Big ones, small ones, and even some flat mallet-like ones. I think whoever made the Justice Hammers used those as a basis for their design.
If that's true, that would explain the Monokuma file's note about the wounds being similar.
So Hifumi moved Taka's body to the repository, where someone then used the hammer to kill him.
Whoever did that is the true killer. The one Hifumi was working with. And the one who betrayed him. Hold on a moment. I still think it's strange to assume someone was working together with him. The way the graduation rule works, there is no benefit to helping someone else, so the idea that anyone...
There's a lot of truth for battles. Spotless hammer.
Based on the rules that have been laid out, even if more than one person, only the one who actually carried out the act, assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible that two people work together.
That is how the rule was explained to us.
But that only really applies if there. In this case, however, there were two murders.
Based on the rules, even if more than one, only the one who actually, assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible that two.
That is how the rule.
But that only really applies. In this case, however, there were two murders.
Shoot! Based on the rules, even if more than one, only the one who actually, assuming the rule holds true.
That is.
But that only really in this case, however, there were two murders.
Based on the rules, even if more than one, only the one who actually, assuming the rule holds true.
No, that's wrong. Since there were two murders, it's at least plausible that more than one person was involved.
What do you mean?
If there'd only been one murder, then yes, the idea of an accomplice isn't really worth considering. Naturally, if only one person can be saved per murder, an accomplice has no risk versus reward benefit.
Yeah, I always thought that if you just killed another person and two people work together to kill two separate people, then wouldn't that mean they both graduate? Which I always thought that was strange, and it never explained it in the anime, but I guess it's explaining now.
Risk versus reward.
The payoff for working together. The reward that balances out the risk of taking. There's no point in being someone's accomplice if there's no benefit to you. However, if there were some potential mutual reward for the risk, then cooperation.
You're saying that two people could act as each other's accomplices to commit two separate murders.
I think that's what the true killer told Hifumi. They would each have an accomplice for their crime.
They never explained that!
And based on the case's events,
I always thought of that.
Hifumi would have been the first one to act, murdering Taka. They made him carry out the first murder so he couldn't back out of helping them later on.
So in this case, there wasn't one single person. Instead, each person killed someone, creating two separate incidents. And it only looked like one person because that's how the true killer designed it to look. A single suspicious individual, by creating one seamless set of circumstances.
The mastermind picked their target and managed to convince him to go along with their plan. And then, to avoid the no accomplices rule, they simply killed their accomplice. Which, if true, means that betraying Hifumi was part of the plan from the very beginning.
That's just awful! How could anyone be so cruel?
You think so? I can't help but admire its cunning. Still, their choice of accomplice seems...
I was looking for someone to say thank you. Yeah,
I
you got a point.
understand how an accomplice could be involved. But then, who was the one pulling Hifumi's strings?
That's problem numero uno right now!
When you consider all that...
Here's my answer.
Celestial suspicious, I knew it! I knew it!
So I'm the suspicious individual now, am I? I really do hate this kind of joke.
A joke? I wonder...
So what you are saying, then, is that I specifically chose to work together with Hifumi. The idea that I would choose to spend any amount of time interacting with him, that I would go within 10 feet of that.
Shut worthless goddamn idiot!
Now you're sounding a lot like Japanese.
Pardonnez-moi.
She is French.
Just to be clear, there is evidence to support it.
Is that so?
It is. Throughout the investigation, there was certain behavior that was common only to the two of you. Considering what we've learned so far, it only further proves that the two of you were working together.
I got it!
Yeah.
The behavior they had in common has to do with the suspicious individual in the suit, doesn't it? The only ones who ever actually saw Robo-Justice firsthand were Celeste and Hifumi.
Shush, the adults are talking now.
Sorry.
As he said, only Celeste and Hifumi ever laid eyes on the costumed individual. If we accept that Hifumi was one of the culprits, we can't help but suspect what Celeste has said as well.
Are you saying everything they told us was a lie?
After taking Hifumi to the nurse's office, we all began our search for this individual, correct? And not too long after that, do you remember what Celeste said? We headed to the second floor specifically because of what she claimed to have seen. Next, to draw us all to the physics lab,
She let out a blood-curdling scream.
and when we'd all come to see what was wrong, what was it she said? Once she'd done her job of getting, it was time for her partner to get to work.
It was to get us to divide into two groups, so that we would discover.
In fact, Celeste was precisely the one who proposed that we split up.
Yeah.
Well, if Celeste... And on top of that, that piercing cry of yours early on. That was to signal Hifumi, wasn't it?
Sounded more like a moan.
It was your way of telling him, we're on the third floor, everything's going according to plan. Why else would you let out a scream that could have carried across the sea?
I just realized another strange thing. When we
What you
found
realize?
Hifumi in the nurse's office, who we now know was only pretending to be dead. Celeste, you were the first one to say he'd been murdered. You wanted to make sure we wouldn't have any doubt in our minds.
I don't.
Hina, you were with Celeste when Hifumi's body disappeared, right?
Yeah. I was feeling kind of sick. Wait! Then that was.
She wasn't worried about you. She just saw a chance to help Hifumi sneak out of the nurse's office.
Each piece isn't much by itself, but start putting them together and the picture gets very ugly indeed.
I was about to do it insult, but I already feel bad for Toko enough. I was about to say just like
Wouldn't you
Toko.
agree, Celeste?
I have no idea what you mean.
Don't bother trying to deny it. You made one fatal mistake.
Oh, did I?
I didn't even catch it myself when you first said it, but looking back, I can say that that one little slip-up was your undoing.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about what you said after Hifumi's body disappeared and we returned to...
What'd she say?
I remember her saying that too.
Then pay attention. Sakura, Toko, and I were first to discover Taka's body in the equipment room. Then Makoto showed up and told us Hifumi had been killed. So Sakura, once we were in the hall, we ran into Celeste, and the four of us headed to the nurse's office. Now, the entire time we were together, none of us said anything about Taka being dead. Think about it. Celeste's comment doesn't make sense. It was completely out of place.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about.
You hear that, Celeste? Everyone's having some... If you're really not the culprit, you shouldn't have any problem with...
All I said was, they must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. They must be positive. We are all going to die here. We are going to die. Just like those guys, and that is all.
Those guys.
What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
All I said, they must really enjoying the sight of us. They must be. We are all going to die. We are going to die. Just like those guys died. And that is all I said.
And that's all it takes to finish this. It's what was so strange about Celeste's comment?
Thought that was
All
strange.
I said, they must really be enjoying the sight of us standing. They must be positive. We are all going to die here. We are going to die. Just like those guys died.
I can trust that. And now no one's gonna pay attention to me, and I'm going to be look like an idiot. And people are just gonna vote for me randomly, because why does it have to be me every time? I mean, the hero was the suspicious one, should be him.
I refuse to give up yet.
And Celeste is way too suspicious right now.
All I said, they must really enjoying the sight of us. They must be positive. We are all going to die here. We are going to die. Just like those guys died. And that is.
And that's all it takes. What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
I might need to copy so strange.
All I said, they must really be enjoying the sight of us standing around. They must be positive. We are all going to die here.
Shoot!
I have an idea.
They must really enjoying the sight of us. They must be. We are going to die. Just like those guys. And that is all I.
And that's all it takes. What was so
Strange about Celeste's comment?
I know what it's saying.
All I said, they must really enjoying the sight of us. They must be. We are all going to. We are going to die. Just like.
Got it.
What's wrong? That's right. There's no reason Celeste should have said, just like those guys died. When she said that, none of us had told her Taka was dead.
Exactly. And we didn't run into her until after we were all out in the hall. So there was never any chance for her to have seen his body in the equipment room for herself.
So how did you know more than one person had been killed? And how did you know they were both guys? Because Kyoko had also disappeared, right? So she could have been dead too.
You all have such vivid imaginations. You know that?
Imaginations.
You're a gambler. Your lying tricks don't work on me. I sent the BS from a mile away.
You claim that I was lying when I told you about the suspicious person I saw. Then what about the picture? How do you explain this picture of the costumed villain dragging Hifumi away?
It has to be some kind. Celeste put the suit on, and then...
Have you so quickly forgotten? You are the only one who could have possibly fit into that suit. Plus, I happen to know that this particular camera does not have a timer. In other words, it is an unassailable if everything I told you was simple.
Are we sure that's really a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away?
What could you possibly mean by that?
Surely there are other
No, there is no other explanation.
There's another explanation. They have been drinking.
It's not a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away. I would say it's a picture of Hifumi dragging the suspect away.
That's certainly within the realm of possibility. The one being dragged off in that picture isn't Hifumi, but the person in the robot suit. We've simply been led to believe that it's the other way around. And the strange costume might only exist to lead us astray even farther. If you saw someone wearing something like that in this situation, of course you'd notice and be suspicious.
That's what happened! You put me to sleep and made me out to be the bad guy in all this!
Such a thing. is utterly impossible. Hifumi was dragging him away? Ridiculous.
Is it? I don't think it's ridiculous at all.
Then shut your mouth and allow me to educate you.
Stop sounding French. He's not believing what I'm saying, so I'm guessing it's nope, it's a make my argument game.
You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out. Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight. You tried to make me look like the bad guy.
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person inside the suit was unconscious, there's no way they could stand up straight like that.
Shoot!
Wait.
That suit after I passed out.
You can't bend from the way down.
You tried to make me look
Like I said, as you can see in the picture, if the person inside the suit, there's no way they could stand up straight.
That's some BS.
It's wrong. No. Even if the person inside the suit were unconscious, they could still stand up like that. Because that Robo-Justice suit had a certain characteristic.
Yeah, you can't bend from the waist down, can you?
Right! They totally made a mistake when they made it, so it couldn't bend at the waist.
I'm not so sure that was a mistake. I think the suit was designed from the beginning to be used the way it was.
Celeste and Hifumi took the suit they'd specially designed and stuffed Hiro into it. That's how they were able to fake that whole thing. The point of it all was to make us believe whoever was in the suit was to blame.
Well then, I suppose this is checkmate.
Gambler, you're not hiding your composure very well.
Don't make me laugh, you idiot! What do you mean, checkmate?
That's my hero.
Celeste?
Clearly, you want to cram me into your little guilty box. Well, there's one little problem.
Have you already forgotten what Hifumi told us as he lay... When we asked him who had attacked him, he said, and I quote, Yasuhiro.
In other words, Yasuhiro Hagakure!
Wait, but my name isn't really Yasuhiro. It's actually Taro.
Your confusing statements don't make any sense. You're only making things more complicated.
He did say Yasuhiro, but are we sure he was really pointing the finger at Hiro?
What the hell are you talking about? I'll burn you alive!
Kyoko, what do you mean by that?
Think back to how Hifumi used to talk to us. How did he refer to each of us?
Shoot!
Think back to how did he refer to each of us?
I got it! That's right! Our last names! He called us all by our last names!
Exactly. I know I heard him say Mr. Naegi more than once, for example. So if Hifumi did mean to say Hiro's name, he would have said his last name, Hagakure.
I'm sure it was just indecent.
Don't talk.
Random chance.
Don't talk.
Now isn't that a convenient explanation? No. There's no reason to think he would have said the name any different than normal. But he must have run out of energy before he could say any more.
So Hifumi was trying to tell us the last name of whoever killed him?
But the name he said doesn't apply to anyone here.
Well, no. Hold on. And that's Celeste. She never actually told us what her real name is.
What did you just say? To think you'd take your false accusation so far, I don't know whether to laugh or spit!
Or stop sounding French all of a sudden.
Come on! Enough with your idiotic blather! Yasuhiro is a loser's name! Do I look like a loser to you? Well, do I? What? I think I've earned the right to be a little on edge.
Okay, then fill us in. What's your real name?
Make sure your ear holes are wide. My real name is Celestia Ludenberg. Could you please stop?
Argument. E-handbook.
Hifumi was trying to tell us something. He wanted us to know the killer's last name, Yasuhiro.
If there's one person here who might have...
It would have to be you, Celeste. You haven't.
How many times did I? Celestia Ludenberg, god damn it!
How long do you plan to go on?
I'm not pretending, and since you have no way to contradict me...
You sure about that?
No, he's wrong.
Are you sure about... John Cena, are you sure about that?
That's it. The handbook.
What?
Anytime you turn your handbook on, it shows the owner's name when it boots up, right? Monokuma told us all about it before.
Yeah.
So all we...
That's an invasion of...
Celeste, can you please just please?
Even when I'm put in check, it's just my nature not to give up. Because until the game's over, you never know what might happen.
Fine.
That's gambling.
Let me settle. Let me go over the case again, and that'll bring
Closing argument. In this case, the killer recruited the accomplice. Was it seduction? What does the crystal ball have to do with anything? I don't know what that could be. I have no idea what that could be. What time did you kill? Oh. Victim, so... That... Sounds sick, right? I don't know. That's one though, so it can't be that. Who was it? The killer coming first? Technically. Actually, great. I know what those are. That stuff in the pursuit. What number was it? Ooh. I'm not sure what number it was. I don't remember. 2, I believe. Actually, no. 3. I have no idea what that could be. Because it was 2. Let's wait. Oh no, how is it seem to feel like?
The killer is you! Before anything, Hifumi, with an accomplice. First, they convinced someone that someone the murderous duo intended to. They drugged him, knocked him.
And lay it out right. Wait, camera.
The killer is you! They drugged him, knocked him out. Next, while the killer used it, they did all this just to create when they were done with him. They and then finally they called Taka. And that's where he
wasn't the right hammer. So that must mean this hammer is wrong. There's no other hammers, right? We just go for.
Here's exactly what happened. And that's where Hifumi came.
God, game number 4. Okay, well at least we know how to lay out some of it. Yes.
I refuse to give up yet.
Wanted him at like 2. Just a 4. Two out of these. And this. And we're going to use
the killer is you! Before anything. the murder. So, they just...
I had no idea what that was. Oh, is that what are those the blood samples? I had no idea what that was.
For these attacks, the first fake incident there,
Well,
they
where the
wanted
blood
to make sure
samples
with
were.
the second fake, this time, with these two, that the suspect was increasing...
Please tell me that's the blood sample instead of me being stupid. That's so stupid.
The killer is... you! So, for these, the first fake incident there, the killer, they wanted to make sure we bought the second fake incident. This time, with these two incidents, that the suspect was in, we fell right into their trap.
Don't take the crystal ball. I'm going to use it. So I'm missing something. Thinking this out, thinking this out, thinking this out. I don't know what it could be. So many things. I think now 2 goes here. Now 3 might go here.
Killer is... you!
Reenact it.
So, next they falsified 2 more assault incidents. For these attacks, the killers pretended to be the victims. To solidify Robo, the first fake video, this with that... Wow, we dis... You took a... Meanwhile, we left... He left. But even Hifumi didn't know what the true killer had in mind. Their plan, and they did it using an ordinate... That should cover everything.
This is different.
Celeste!
Am I lost? When was the last time I was forced to utter such words? They hang heavy around my neck.
Then you admit it? You're the killer?
Listen to you. Taiko Yasuhiro is fine.
Taiko?
So, you finally accepted it.
I'm the kind of person
Once I've lost, I don't like things to drag on.
I knew you weren't French.
Interesting.
Okay, we're gonna end the video today. Aw, man, I suck. We're gonna end off today's video. Hope you enjoyed. Bye. Bye.